So this morning we are going to walk through opportunities in Command. And there's a lot of different parts or roles that opportunities play in your business. At its core, opportunities is a sales pipeline management tool for you. It is there so that way you can manage and build that relationship from the moment you meet someone all the way through closing and past closing. And you can keep track of the activities that you need to do to move that relationship along, as well as it helps you plan your business and manage your business, knowing what your goals are for the year, and then help you keeping track throughout the year of how you are achieving those goals. And it's at the most minimal level, opportunities are where and how you get paid. So on Thursday's class, I'll walk through just the bare bones of opportunities on how to get paid. But this morning, I'm going to walk through building out that sales funnel, understanding how to use it, and showing you all the different aspects of opportunities. As I'm going through the training this morning, please interrupt me with any questions, unmute yourself, ask in the chat box. This is really all for you. So I want to make sure that you walk away feeling that you understand opportunities and how you can start to implement using opportunities in your business. So to get started, I'm going to click on the icon of the two hands shaking on the left-hand side, and that's opportunities. And this is going to take us into our opportunities dashboard. Now mine's going to look just a little bit different likely than yours, but up here you can see I have the Nicholas Core Real Estate Group. Now I have a team set up for demonstration purposes. If you are not on a team, then you would not have this option here. Then I have my name, and it's going to show me all my sales funnels here, all opportunities and all discussions. And we'll walk through these in more detail. Here we have my listings sales funnel, and you can see we have Cultivate, Appointment, Active, Under Contract, and Closed. These are all different phases of that sales funnel. So going from meeting someone over here in Cultivate to closing a piece of property with them on the right-hand side here. And then to the right of that, we have GCI, and it shows our potential income and probable income. This is calculated based on the sales, the budget of your clients, the estimated commission, and where they are in that sales funnel. So as we walk through the sales funnel a little bit more depth, I'll be able to show you how you can say, all right, if I just met someone at a party this past weekend and we had a conversation about real estate, I'm going to add them to my opportunities pipeline, and there's a 5% likelihood that they would close. The system is able to calculate what that probable income is based on the likelihood that that person would close. This is really just to give you a quick snapshot. So as you log in opportunities, you can kind of see where you are with your GCI goals throughout the year. You'll see here I have a separate buyers pipeline here, and then below here I have leases. So they all have the same core stages, those 5 stages, phases. I always get stages and phases mixed up. They all have the same 5 phases of Cultivate, Appointment, Active, Pending, and Closed. Scrolling down, we have a quick overview of showing at a top line view of how our business is, the number of opportunities that we have for each one of those groups of listings, buyers, and leases, our probable and potential income. Then on the right-hand side, we have a graph of our business. So it's kind of tracking how our business is moving throughout the year, so we can keep track of any ebbs and flows throughout the year. Scrolling down, any closings that we have coming up this month, it'll show right there. So I can just quickly know, all right, I have that closing and I'm good to go. Any questions on this information that we've talked through so far? It's pretty brief, and once we jump into the next section of opportunities, I think it'll make a little bit more sense and add some context. But this here is really just that quick top line view of your business and managing all those different opportunities. So now that we know what our 5 phases are for each one of our opportunities, we can go through each one of these different sales funnels and personalize it for our business. So to do that, we'll just use listings today. I'm going to click on the Cultivate phase. And now I'm in that phase. Here at the top of the screen, you can see I have my Cultivate, Appointment, Active, Under Contract, and Closed. These are my 5 phases. Now within each phases, we have different stages. So you can see here, I have a watch lead stage, nurture lead, and hot lead. If you have not gone through and personalized your stages yet, you don't have those yet. I'll put it in the chat box. I have an outline that you can use to help build out your stages for your listings and your buyers' opportunities. I will put that in the chat box right now. So that way, if you want to follow along, you can. There's that. So I just sent the PDFs of both the buyers and the listings sales funnels. Let me just open this up really quickly on my computer. So here you can see I have these 3 different stages that I've added. When you want to add a stage or you want to go through and you want to personalize, we'll click on the edit stages up here in the top right-hand corner. And the benefit of using a stage is it helps break down that phase into smaller digestible chunks. Knowing that the Cultivate phase is pretty broad, there's going to be different activities that we need to do and different key business markers that we need to hit as we move people down from a met all the way to a closed client. So I'm going to click edit stages here. And you can see these are my 3 stages that I've already gone through and added. But up in the top right-hand corner, I'm going to click add stage. I'm going to give this a stage name. Now, if you've opened up the PDF that I sent, you'll see that each one of the different stages has a separate name. It's all in bold, but I'm just going to name this Training 3-1. Oh, if I could spell correctly. Now I'm just going to name this Training 3-1, so that way I know that this is from today's training and not an actual stage for my business. You can name it whatever you want. Now that guide or the template that I sent you is really just a guide. You don't have to use it verbatim, but you can just use it as a starting point. And then as you go through it and start to understand it and use it more for your business, then you can update that for your business. Below here, we have probability. And this is that number I was mentioning earlier. When we look at the opportunities home screen, it'll say, oh, our potential income is, I think it said $12,000, but a probable income of $4,000. And that probable income is based on this percentage here. So I could just kind of give an estimate of how much I think the likelihood is that a piece of business in this Training 3-1 stage would close, and I'll just say 8%. So that way the system can calculate anyone that is in the Training 3-1 stage of the Cultivate phase, there's an 8% likelihood that they will close. To the right of that, we have position. It's going to default to any new position being the last one. But if you wanted to, you could change this, and put it in the 3rd position of 4. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. And then below here, we have checklists. And the benefit of checklists is these are going to be your to-do items that's going to help manage that relationship. So when you set up to-do items here, the system command will automatically remind you and say, hey, Nick, today you need to send a text message to this person. Today you need to add them to the monthly neighborhood nurture. Today you need to send them a handwritten note, or whatever the activity it is that I need to do to help move that client along through this sales funnel. So I'm going to click add item because I want to add a checklist item, and I can say add to monthly neighborhood nurture. Now below here, we have a client update button. In the last couple months, Labs has updated opportunities so that way the system can automatically send emails to our clients, letting them know all the work that we've done on their behalf. This is not for everyone, and not every single checklist item needs to be added to this. But if you want the system to automatically let your clients know, hey, I have gone through and I've accomplished A, B, C, D things on your behalf without having to give them a call and tell them, the system can do it. Now here, I wouldn't want them to know that I'm adding them to a monthly neighborhood nurture. But let's say if I click save, I can add item and I can say, I'll just make this up, confirm, introduce myself to lender. So I would just want, for this, I'm just making it up. I want to call and introduce myself to their lender. I can give this a client update. So in that way, my clients will know, okay, I've called, the lender to introduce myself. So that way we're starting to build all of those business relationships on behalf of my client. And I can click save. Now, another thing I want to point out really quickly is that if you set up a task item or a checklist item to be included in the client update, it's not just going to automatically send. You do have to actively enroll each client and each opportunity into the client emails. So you can select, for some clients, they don't want to be pestered. Other clients want to know everything that you're doing. So that is another way that you don't have to worry about it too much. And if for whatever reason you decide, you know what, I don't want this to be included in a client update, you can just uncheck that item there. And then I could add another item if I wanted to. And I'm going to click save. And now you can see I've added my stage here, my training 3-1, probability of closing 8%. I have my 2 items, my checklist items. 0 items here are included in those client updates. And then to the right here, we have a pencil button. And anytime you see a pencil icon in command that lets you know that you can edit. And to the right of that, we have a trash can. So if I wanted to, I could delete or remove this stage. And if you ever want to go back and edit, just click on the pencil and it'll take you back to this screen. And you can edit the stage name. And then if you want to add or edit any of the checklist items, just click on the highlighted checklist items here. And then you could add items there. And if you wanted to, you could delete them, any previous ones, by clicking on the 3 dots and click edit and delete. Any questions so far on the phases, stages, creating your stages, checklist items? All right. I just want to make sure it's a lot of information. And when I was first learning how to use opportunities, it was kind of confusing for me. So I just want to make sure that I'm answering any questions that you guys are understanding it. Last thing I want to show you really quickly is if as you're looking at your stages that you're building out and you're like, oh, whoops, I don't want my training 3-1 stage to be the 3rd, you can just click on this box over here on the left-hand side and just drag it into another position and it will reorder them. That simple. So now that I've finished building out my Cultivate stages and tasks checklist items, I'm going to click back to listings, Cultivate. You can see here I have appointment, active, under contract, and close as my other phases. I can click into appointment and it's going to be the same item here where I can click edit stages. I can add stages. I can edit my checklist items. I can edit over here the stage names and I can reorder them. So you need to go through each one of these 5 different phases to build out all of the different stages. Now I'm going to go back to the opportunities home screen. Here it shows again all of our business from the top line perspective, so we can just kind of get an idea of what is going on. Now that we've gone through, we've set up and we understand all of our different phases, we've added each one of our stages and those corresponding checklist items. Now we can actually create an opportunity. The way to think about an opportunity is really an opportunity for a closing. Some people like to think, some people are like, oh, I only create opportunities when I have an actual buyer brokerage agreement or a listing agreement, I have an actual client. I would recommend that you create an opportunity for any single opportunity or person that you meet that could potentially turn into a closed transaction. Because that's really what opportunities here is to help you do, is to help manage that relationship from the moment of meeting them at a party or whenever, all the way through and past closing. So let's create an opportunity. To do that, I'm going to click Create Opportunity in the top right-hand corner. And we're going to get this pop-up menu here. We'll just start at the top and we'll work our way down, filling in all of the information. So Market Center should default to Atlanta Sandy Springs. Team, if you are on a team, it will likely default to that team. I'm not on a team, so I'm just going to leave that blank. Opportunity type, we have 4 different options here. We have listing, buyer, landlord, and tenant. It is very important that when you are creating your opportunity at this part of the process, you select the correct opportunity type, because once you select this opportunity type and you click create, you are unable to go back and edit the opportunity type. So if I created a listing opportunity, but I actually meant to create a buyer one, I would have to archive and delete this opportunity and then recreate a whole new buyer one, fill in all that information, just go through the whole rigmarole again. So just be very mindful that you select the correct opportunity type. Another reason you need to select the opportunity type is because the information in the documents that will be required of you for closing will be different. So this is how the system will let you know what you need, and the MCA office knows to look for specific documents. So I'm going to select listing for today. Owner, it will default to your name. Owner here is the owner of this opportunity, not the owner of a piece of property. So I'll leave that as my name here. And then client, to start, to add your opportunity, just start typing in your client's name. So I'm just going to type in Tony, and it's going to preload clients' names, and I'll select Tony here. I do want to point out that you have to have previously added your client to your database for their name to appear here. If for whatever reason you get here and you're trying to add someone's name and then nothing's populating, it's because they're not in your database yet. So you'd have to click cancel down here, go into contacts, add that contact, and then come back here to create that client. If there is a co-seller or co-client, you can type in his or her name here. So I'll type in Pepper Potts. So this way, this opportunity will appear for both of those clients. Opportunity name. It is very important that you name your opportunity in a specific format that the MCA office has requested. It's what helps them identify which opportunity, which transaction, different documents, different checks, and information belongs to. So for a listing, you would want to name it 1234 Main Street. So we'll name it Main Street dash, then we'll do client's last name. So I'll do Stark dash Potts dash listing. So this tells the MCA office what the address is for the property that I'm about to list, the last names of my sellers, and then it's a listing. So in that way, as the MCA office is going through and they're checking my listing agreement and any purchase and sale, any money, earnest money, anything that goes, they can double check and make sure it's all correct. If you are working with a buyer, your opportunity name at first would just be buyer's last name dash buyer. Then once you go under contract on a specific property, you can update the opportunity name to include that property address. I'll show you in just a few moments how you can edit an opportunity once you've already created one. Below that, we have custom tags. And custom tags here in opportunities are similar to the custom contact tags that we use in contacts, but very different and very separate. Custom tags here are going to help you manage and kind of review your business throughout the year. So I would recommend adding as many custom tags that you can think of that are relevant for this opportunity. So you may want to add how you know them. So I have a former coworker custom tag, and that'll let me know, all right, this piece of business is from a former coworker. They live in, are they interested in East, I'll put Cobb, let me type in Cobb County. You can see I don't have a Cobb County tag, so I can just type it out and then click create Cobb County. So it lets me know that this listing is in Cobb County. And then I can also do a price range. So this is going to be between a $400,000 and $500,000 listing. And you can add as many as you want. The benefit of using these tags is that at the end of the year, as you're reviewing your business, you can then sort all of your transactions. And I can look to see, okay, how of all my transactions, where are most of my transactions coming from? Which parts of my sphere? Is it former coworkers, former classmates, Facebook leads, whatever. Also, what is my average price point? What's my, what part of town am I selling a lot in? So then as I'm reviewing my business and I'm setting up my goals for the next year, I can say, all right, you know what? I did a ton of business from with former coworkers. I'm really going to double down on my former coworkers. And that's where I'm going to start to focus my effort, because I already have a business relationship with those people. So I don't need to go out and try to get new Facebook leads. I just need to really focus in on former coworkers. And, I do a lot in Cobb County. So I'm just going to, again, I'm just focus on Cobb County. Or I could say, you know what? I haven't really done that much in Cobb County. I've really done actually a lot more in town. I'm going to really focus all my efforts on in town, but let me find a really great referral partner in Cobb County, someone from within the First Atlanta office. So anytime I have a client that is looking in Cobb County, I can say, you know what? I have the best agent in Cobb County that will be able to help you. Let me give you his or her information. And then, there's a 25% referral fee. So again, it's just there to help you review, analyze your business, and make it so you can make smart decisions for the upcoming year. Estimated close date. Again, this is estimated. If you don't know it or you have no clue, you don't have to put it in, but if you want to, you can put in a date. All of this information is editable, so you can come back after the fact and change it. Estimated list price. We just met at a party. I don't know. I think we kind of talked like $415 was kind of the price point that they had mentioned, but we'll learn more throughout the process. Commission rate. I always negotiate 6% for my listings, so I'll have 3% here for commission rate for myself. And the reason I put 3 here instead of 6 is because this commission rate that I'm putting here in this create opportunity is what the system is going to use to project my potential and probable income for the rest of the year. Opportunity phase. So I can click here and it's going to show me all my opportunity phases that I have available of Cultivate, Appointment, and Active. So I'm just going to leave it at Cultivate because we just met at a party. Then it's going to show me all of the different stages that I've created for that Cultivate phase. So I'll click, select Nurture Lead. And that's all the information that I need right now to start my opportunity. So I'm going to click Create. And now it has created my opportunity. It's going to drop me here into my details page. And this is going to show me an overview of all that information that I just filled in on that pop-up window. I have the pencil icon here. So as I'm going throughout the process, I can always edit. So I can click on this pencil here, and it's going to let me come back in here and edit. Now you'll notice that there is not a place for me to edit the type of opportunity this is. So like I mentioned earlier, I can't edit from a listing opportunity to a buyer opportunity. But I can come down here, I can fill in some more information, time frame, 3 months. And then as you know, my appointment's scheduled. So as I'm going through the process, I can set, okay, we have an appointment scheduled for Friday, March 12th. Appointment date, or sorry, excuse me. This would be the date that I set the appointment. So let's say I set the appointment today on March 1st. My appointment is scheduled for March 12th. And then after that, I can come back here and fill in this additional information and click save. To the right here, we have the property information. And this is going to be really helpful because this information is going to pull directly into DocuSign. So I'm going to click on the pencil icon here, and I'm just going to start typing in my property address. So I'll just type 1234 Main Street. Let's see, is there, all right. I'm just going to select, I'll do this Alpharetta one. Even though I, as previously said, this was Cobb County, we're just going to select this one for right now. And I'll click save. It's going to pull in all this information and then click save. And it's good to go here. Scrolling down, we have seller's worksheet. So if you want to use the system to automatically populate a seller's net sheet, you can use that here. So we can click on this edit button, and here we can fill in the remainder of the information. So the buyer's agent commission will be 3%, kind of projected what you think they would be paying in closing costs, mortgage balance, second mortgage, prorated taxes, and HOA. Again, this is also that way as you're comparing those opportunities, as you're comparing offers later on, the system will be able to auto calculate what their net proceeds would be. So I'm going to click save. So this is the details page. Now, before we go through the rest of these tabs at the top, I want to ask and see if there's any questions, if there's anything I can clarify, show you again of what we've gone through so far. All right. Again, please always feel free to interrupt me. But before we go through these, I want to go back into my sales pipeline because I want to show you kind of how you manage this process all along. So I'm going to go back to my sales pipeline because I want to go back and I want to find this opportunity. So we have two options here. I can click into the different phases of my opportunity here, and you can also come to all opportunities. And this is going to show you a list of all the opportunities that you have. So you can see all of them here. Here I have, it's, you know, it looks like the same opportunity because I use the same address for my DocuSign training, but I can click into that opportunity here. Just by clicking on that, it's going to take me right here. I'm going to go back to my sales funnel because the other way you can find it is click right here into Cultivate. And here it shows my opportunity card and it's in the nurture lead stage. As I'm working with these clients, I can move them along from stage to stage. To do that, it's very simple. You can roll your mouse over the contact or the opportunity card, click on it, and drag it into that next stage. And now you'll see here, I have my list of checklist items. I can click on that. It's going to show me what I have to do. Contact seller to set appointment. If I wanted to, I can include this in the client update email and set a due date. If I've completed it, I can check it and it's going to let me know that it's completed. So I'm good to go there. Then once I'm done with this hot lead stage, I can move it into my training stage and just drag it along. And then you'll notice that my checklist items here have changed. Now I have 0 of 2. I can click on those again, and I can go through these options or the items here of add monthly neighborhood nurture and introduce myself to lender. I could set a due date here. So if I need to set a due date of, I'm going to give myself until Friday, and I'll give myself, let's do 10:30 a.m. on this coming Friday to add them to the monthly neighborhood nurture. And the reason I want to add this due date here, so that way when I log in Friday morning, actually probably, even Thursday morning and Friday morning, it's going to say, Nick, don't forget to add Tony and Pepper to the monthly neighborhood nurture. So I can click close. Now, Once you've gone through all of the stages of the Cultivate phase, now we can move it to the appointment phase. To do that, it's going to be the same thing. You're just going to click on this opportunity card, grab it, and drag it into the appointment box. Now you'll wait for the appointment box to show blue. The opportunity has been updated, so I'm going to click on appointment. I'm going to scroll over here, and now it is in that first scheduling stage. So this is how you can go through and you can manually manage that opportunity from meeting someone all the way through the sales pipeline. And as you're going through and you move them along, your checklist of items will update, so then you know exactly what it is that you need to do to manage this relationship. Now that we've kind of walked through how to use, how to move that opportunity along the different phases and stages, I'm going to click back into that opportunity. I'm just going to do that right here from within the sales pipeline view. So I'll click right there, and it's going to take me into that details page. Again, you can edit any of this information with the pencils here. Now let's walk through all of the different tabs that we have here within the opportunity. So the details one we've already walked through, no biggie. The next is seller profile. Seller profile is really just going to show you if your clients have downloaded your mobile app and if they have registered with the mobile app. The benefit of your clients having the mobile app is that there is a buyer's and a seller's guide within that app. So you can see down here, it says guide, and that guide is going to help provide information for them to help manage the process on their end. And it's going to answer a lot of the questions that they would probably have. So that way they don't have to text you at 10:30 at night saying, oh, we just found a house that we like. What's the next step? Or we're under contract. What do we do now? All of that information would be included in that guide. So that way, when they're up at night tossing and turning, they can look there for information rather than texting you, and then you can talk about it the next morning. So that is really all this seller profile information is here. To the right of that is documents. And the documents tab of opportunities is going to be one of the most important places, because this is where we are going to upload all of our documents relating to this transaction for compliance review. If you do not upload your documents here, Lynn and Alita will never be able to review them. So the MC office will never know that you have a contract, and you won't be able to get paid. So over here on the left-hand side, it's going to default to residential. You could, if you have commercial access, it'll let you switch between commercial. If you want to export selected documents, you can do that here, but we don't really need to do that. Below here, we have 3 different folders of listed, under contract, and closed. So these are going to be 3 different folders of the types of documents that you will have and need to submit for compliance review. The first is listed. So over here on the right-hand side, we have a list of documents that are going to be the most commonly used documents for a listing. We have a status here, and it's going to default to not uploaded because we haven't uploaded anything. But once we upload and once we submit for review, then it will let us know if it has been reviewed, approved, or declined. To the right of that, we have a requirement column. So here we have a mixture of required and conditional. Required means that you have to have that for compliance review. Conditional means that if you have it, these are going to be commonly used documents that will be included with a transaction or with this listing, but it's not going to be required because not every single property is going to have a community association disclosure or a lead-based paint disclosure. You can always add additional items to this listed folder. You can click add item here, and then you can just create a document name, new document, select document type, and here's a list of different document types. Pick the document type that is most similar to the document type you are uploading. It may not be the exact one. It's not going to affect compliance review at all. It's just kind of there for organizational purposes. So I'll just add addendum. And then the source of documents, you can upload it manually, or you could use DocuSign or a custom folder. So I'll just click save. Well, I guess I don't have a document to add, so I'll just click cancel. Once you've uploaded your documents here into the listed folder, this submit to MC button would highlight dark blue. And once you have all of your documents ready for compliance review, you click submit to MC. And this is what's going to notify Lynn and Alita that there are documents for this transaction that they need to review. When you are listing a property, you need to submit all of the listing agreement documents immediately for compliance review. Then once you go under contract, you'd click over here in the under contract folder, and then you would upload all of the documents relating to that purchase and sale. So you can see here we have purchase and sale, counter offer, legal description, earnest money, all these different documents and pieces of information that would likely be included in this transaction. And again, once you've uploaded all these documents here, you want to click submit to MC, so that way the MCA office and Lynn and Alita know that you have a binding contract for them to review. Below that, we have our closed folder, which again is just our settlement statement, our FMLS 118. If you are going to do a pay at close, you'll need that as well. And then below that, we have custom folders. Custom folders are so that way you can add additional folders of information. So I want to add a custom folder, and I may name this inspection report. Now, I don't need to include my inspection report for compliance review. It does not have any impact on the transaction. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that all of the documents relating to this transaction and this opportunity are all in one place. Because let's say in 6 months or to a year, my clients reach out to me and say, hey, you know, we've been pretty happy in the house, but we keep having this issue with the plumbing. Would you mind sending over the inspection report to see if we can see if there's anything on that about our plumbing that we, you know, overlooked? Well, I can be like, yep, give me 5 minutes. I can come back into this opportunity. I can come into my inspection report folder and I can download it here and send it to them. I may also want to add an appraisal. Excuse me. An appraisal folder. So if I wanted to include an appraisal report, I could add that here. So again, it's just places that I can put all these documents. So that way, if I get a new computer in 2 years, I don't lose all those documents. They're still all right here for me in command. And if, you know, this also prevents me from having to pay to use a service like Dropbox. Everything's here in command for me for free. So one thing I want to show you again is when you're in any of these folders we have listed, we have our little toolbar here where it allows us to add item. We can add a comment. So if we need to reply to a comment from Lynn and Alita, or we can attach multiple files at once. But another thing that is really awesome is that right where it says listed, there's a drop-down menu. And we have this for listed, the same for under contract and for closed. There's a little drop-down menu. Most commonly, I would expect that you'd only use this for the under contract folder. But let's say I have this listing. We go under contract and I submit everything for compliance review. And then during due diligence, those buyers terminate. Well, I don't want to have to go through the whole process of creating a whole new opportunity and re-uploading all of my listing agreement forms, resubmitting them for compliance review, because it's already been done. Well, what you can do is you can create a new version of this under contract folder. So where it says under contract in this toolbar, I can click on that drop-down menu or drop-down arrow and click add version. And I can give this version 2, whatever name I want to give it. I'm just going to name this training 3.1. Click create new version. And now it's going to give me a whole new clear list of documents. So now I can go through and I can upload all of the documents pertaining to my new contract that I received without having to go through and either creating a new opportunity or deleting all of the documents. And let's say for whatever reason, my sellers are like, hey, just kind of curious to see what the difference is between our original contract our offer we received and our second one. I'll say, give me 5 minutes. I'll pull that information. I'll put it together in an email for you. And I can toggle back between my original under contract folder and my under contract 3.1. So I can come back here to the original under contract and I would have access to all of these documents that are here. So it's just another way that Command helps you organize all of your documents and stores them as a database and streamlines everything. You can have as many different versions as you wanted to if you have a lot of terminations. This is also going to be really beneficial if you are working with buyers and you're on a buyer's opportunity and they terminate an offer or a purchase and sale agreement that they have, rather than having to create a whole new opportunity every single time they go under contract. You can just add a new version of the under contract folder here. I can click add version and I can name this, 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street or 1, 2, 3, 4 Elm Street, create a version. And now I can just toggle back in between. So that way I don't have to worry about creating a whole new opportunity. Within documents, well, let me take a step back. For all of the GAR forms that you need to use and fill in and send for signature, all of those forms are found in DocuSign. There are no forms for you to use for any contract within Command. So what you'll need to do is when you are, well, let me add another preface here. You're not required to use DocuSign, but DocuSign is the preferred e-signature platform for KW, and we all receive free DocuSign accounts as being KW agents. You do have the ability to use Remind for free, and if you wanted to, you could pay for .loop or any other e-signature platform that you wanted to. But if you do decide to use DocuSign, you can link that DocuSign room to your opportunity, and that's going to take out a couple steps of uploading those documents, because you can add documents, sign documents directly from DocuSign into Command. To do that, you'll want to click on this button here that says Start a Transaction. So I'm going to click Start a Transaction, and now it's going to create a room. Please reattempt. Well, this is strange. One of the benefits of live training. Okay, so you'll see here, now I have two buttons that says Sync Transaction and Go to Transaction. That lets me know that my DocuSign room has been created. So I'm going to click Go to Transaction, and this should open up, well, for whatever reason, it is not allowing me to connect to DocuSign. But what you do here is if you click Go to Transaction, it would open up DocuSign directly into that room with all of the documents pertaining to this specific opportunity. You will probably spend most of your time in the documents section, because this is really where all of that information needs to go. You'll receive feedback from Lynn and Alita. So I want to make sure that you're comfortable with that. The next tab is Offers and Commissions. So I'm going to come over here to Offers and Commissions. Offers and Commissions allows you to let's say as a listing agent, if I receive multiple offers, I can input all of those offers into Command. And so I can send over a simple to read and compare sheet with all the different offers, all the information that they can review. Then from that, it allows me to calculate my commission. So depending on what the final sales price is, any seller's closing contribution to closing cost, I can calculate my commission. Even if you don't want to go through and use this to calculate all of your different like let's say if you receive 10 offers, you don't want to use this, you don't have to. But if you decide that you want to submit your commission through command and no longer use a green sheet, what you do need to do at the minimum is click add new offer here. And I'll just say, leave it as initial offer and click create offer. And we'll go through and fill in this information. So we can say offer date of 3/1, we received it today, and they want to close on 3/31. Parties, so it's going to pull in my seller's name here from my opportunity. Buyer's name, I'll just say John Smith. They are pre-qualified, and their agent's name is let's do Jane Doe. You can fill in the co-op agent's information here if you wanted to, but it's not necessary. Click terms, and now we'll be able to fill in the information about the sales price. So let's say if they are going to use $50,000 cash for the down payment, and they're going to finance $350,000, it's going to do a sales price of $400. So this is the information that you get off of the financing contingency. Earnest money, you can put in your percentage here. So if you just want to put in 1%, it'll automatically calculate the earnest amount here. Or let's say if they're offering, $6,000, I can just type in 6,000 and it's going to calculate the percentage on my behalf. Option fee, we don't really do a lot of option fees here in the state of Georgia, so I'm going to skip over that. If you have any questions about options, please reach out to Lynn and Alita. Termination option. So this will be buyer will give notice of termination within blank days after contract. In the state of Georgia, we have that as our due diligence. So this buyer had negotiated 10 days. So I'll put 10 days in there. Seller will contribute blank dollars to your residential service contract. So if you're going to provide a home warranty, you can include that here. If not, you leave it at 0, and seller will contribute blank dollars to settlement costs. So this will be seller's contribution to closing costs. So let's say we agreed to $2,500. So put that in there, click agent analysis. Here, if you wanted to, you can write out some pros, cons, and summary. Again, nothing's required here. I'm going to click save. So we have our offer. I can add negotiation. I can edit, add analysis. I can send offer. So if I want to send this to my clients, it's going to load their email address. I can send a copy to me. Great news. Here's the offer for your listing. And I could click send. I could also preview that offer email. So I can click on this preview button here. And this is what the email will show. So all that overview of information. Let me go back because I do not actually want to send this. So for this instance, I'm not going to put in a bunch of offers. I'm just going to put in the one offer that we finally go into a contract with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click accept. And now that I have accepted this, I have the option to manage commission. So I'm going to click manage commission. And this is going to pull in all the information from my opportunity and help confirm what my actual payment will be. There's going to be some information that I do need to fill in, like the contract date here. So I'm going to click edit general information. We'll add our contract date again here as 3/1. Sales price, commission rate, total commission, unit, click save changes. If you need to add another agent or a co-broker payment, like if there's a referral fee, you can do that here. So I could type in amount, commission, we'll do 25. Let's do 0.025. All right, so 25% of that commission, tax ID, all that information. Company, this is again, if you're doing a referral, if you need to add another agent. So if you are on a team or if you are co-op or working with another agent to manage this transaction, you can do that here. You can edit your payment information. So here you have your gross commission, your royalty split, so what you owe to KWRI, the company commission, so to First Atlanta, and then any other information down here. So let's see, KW Cares has 0. I always try to do $5 to KW Cares out of every transaction. Click Save Changes. So now it shows that updated payment there. And then up in the top right-hand corner, again, is a quick summary. So I can just double check all these numbers. I would recommend that you have a separate Excel document or system that you use to manage your commissions, and that you use this as a double check, because there will be times where this is incorrect, where your royalty or your your split to First Atlanta is miscalculated. And since we are all business owners, I want to make sure that you know what those numbers are, so that way you can email the MCA office and say, hey, I saw that you were charging me, $3,600 for my commission split, but I've already, reached $14,000 of my $15,000 cap, so I should really only be charged $1,000. And they'll be able to make that update on their end. Once everything looks good to go here, you can click Submit, and this is going to submit this opportunity and this commission sheet to the MCA office. This would be used in lieu of a green sheet. So if you want to, you could still use green sheets and not use the commissions tab, or you can use the commissions tab and you no longer need to use the green sheet. Any questions about offers and commissions? All right. The next tab here we have is notes. And this is a place for you to put any notes about the transaction. This is for your eyes only. This may be something as simple as, clients got really stressed out after the inspection process or inspection report. Clients, XYZ. You could even put something in here like, clients really appreciated the lunch I sent over to them the day that they moved in. They loved the pizza. Something like that. So that way in the future, if these clients reach out to me and they're like, hey, Nick, we are looking to sell this house and we want to move again, love to have some conversations with you, I can come back to this archived opportunity, come pull up my notes, and I can say, all right, perfect. I remember how stressed out they got at that inspection report. So as I'm talking through the process and working with them, I know that I need to put a little bit of extra time and energy into managing that inspection. So it's just stuff that will help remind me throughout the process. And then the last item we have here is timeline. And the benefit of the timeline here is it's going to show you every single action that has been taken within this opportunity. So if there's ever any question about when you submitted something for compliance review, or when something updated, or when something, when you move them from one stage to the next, you can scroll down here through timeline and it'll show you every single thing. So that way there's, you know exactly what it is that you need to do. You can also sort by filters over here. So if you want to look for an action within a specific date range, activity type, so email, commissions, offers, concierge, notes, documents, and individuals. So whoever managed that. So if you're on a team, you can look to see who did what. And again, this is just in that way you can keep track of all of that information. So there's no questions about when you did what, or you can go back and say, oh, yep, it looks like I never actually sent that over to you. Let me get that to you ASAP. Any questions about what we've gone through this morning with opportunities? We've gone through a lot of information relatively quickly. What questions can I answer for you? What can I clarify? What can I show you again this morning?
Well, Nick, I'm gonna work with this because I didn't realize we had the opportunity not to use the green sheet.
Yeah.
So that is wonderful for me because I'm gonna work with it and see if I might have to call you later. But
that's perfect.
Okay.
And to add a little bit more onto the green sheet conversation, the long-term plan, well, I don't know how long-term it is now, but the plan is for everyone to move away from using green sheets to everyone submitting commissions in Command. So as our MCA office gets everything built out on the back end for them, that's why we're still able to use green sheets, but the future is that we should be using commission. So if you want to start using them now, by all means, you should, and let me know what questions you have.
Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome. Anything else? All right. Well, as you guys are starting to play around in opportunities and managing your sales pipeline, please let me know what questions you have. You can always set up some one-on-one time and we can help build out your opportunity pipeline if you'd like. And I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have. Have a great rest of your Monday and I will talk to you later.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye for now.